DM. Do you ever feel behind in life and business? Well, if you do, this show is for you. So with that said, let's get started.
I'm Mark Evans, I'm Mark Evans, I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it to discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. It's time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker, but I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker.
Hey there, it's your boy Mark Evans, DM. Welcome to another Making of the DM podcast show. Coming to you from Parkland, Florida. Beautiful day, overlooking the course that I never play. And just watching all these guys chase that little white ball. Not knocking it. It's just, it's a big commitment for me. And in the season of life I'm in, and I'd rather be out there with my son, playing and all that. But they're getting ready to go to school today. As I'm talking to you, as you know or may not know, we homeschool. We have a teacher come here every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And they work with Mark and Drea. She does, I should say. And it's amazing. I'm always asking myself, and I'm trying to understand why anybody that has any sort of financial means, specifically, because it's not cheap. It's not the most, economical thing necessarily. But homeschooling to me has always been a thing, always will be a thing. It's not popular. It's way more popular actually now than it's ever been. But I don't believe in the school system the way it's run. And as you know, these precious kids, once they hear it, they can't unhear it. Once they see the goofiness, they can't unsee it. I mean, the last thing I'd want is my 9-year-old son, 8-year-old son coming in saying, "Dad, Nancy pissed in a cat box because she's now a cat." Like, I would end up in a lot of trouble. So we'll get started here today, but that's my quick rant, I guess. If you have any questions about homeschooling, feel free to reach out to me. I'll hook you up with someone that's helped me put that all together, as it does require a little bit of insight, some effort. But guys, it's our children. We only got one shot at it. We don't want to screw it up and be a victim. So if you ever need help with that, let me know. So here's what we got. A lot of good stuff going on, a lot of crazy stuff going on, but this show is growing. Every day it grows, which I want to say thank you to you guys. If you're brand new listening to this show, let you know, like, this is a real, raw, intimate. If you're sitting across from me, as I'm talking to you, I'm at my desk in my office here at the house. I got these two amazing leather chairs sitting across from me. It's as if you and your partner or you and yourself are sitting there and we're talking shop. I would talk exactly like I'm talking now, maybe not as aggressively, but I'm talking to myself in these shows. And I genuinely know there's so much bullshit online, on social media. There's a lot of you guys that follow a lot of the wrong people, not because you want to, because you don't know better. And my goal is always to be honest, real, and genuine with you. I have nothing here to sell you. The only thing I offer is a thing called the DM Alliance. It's $1,000 a month. I help business owners grow their business, get organized, and connect with great human beings. It's an amazing network of people. I utilize it daily. I know many of the members do every day. So just a badass group of people of Dealmaker community. And that's it. I don't have anything else, but I do have this. All I ask is that you share this show. If you're like on a walk, on a treadmill, driving or whatever, and if something I say makes an impact in you or resonates with you or makes sense, I want you to always be thinking about your friends, colleagues, family members, etc., people you're having challenges with or growing with. And if I'm saying something, I can relay the message for you. I can plant the seed for you. Maybe you don't know how to say it. Maybe you understand, like, yes, that's what I want to say. That's what I've been saying. That's who I am. Let this crazy guy, me, be on the other line and plant that message with your buddy, with your spouse, with your friend, or whoever. Let's share the show. And what happens, I share shows all the time. I listen to podcast shows as well. And I'll listen to it. And I'm like, man, that's a good one from my boy Patrick. And then I'll shoot him a quick text, that share a show button. You share it via text. And it's like, hey, Patrick, dude, this one hit hard. Listen to minute 20 to 22. Naturally, they might go directly to that. But if they like the sound of it, they feel like it hit home, they're going to start listening to the show a lot more. You see, I don't spend money on ads. I don't get paid to run ads here. I want to bring high value, high quality content to you directly in your ear. I don't shoot videos here. I'm sitting here in my shorts and a t-shirt. This is my life. It's not video worthy, if you will. I don't care about that stuff. I care about impact. And I want to impact you, the listener. So I hope that comes across genuine and real, because it is. And please share the show. It helps me. There's an entrepreneur, a real entrepreneur. It's out there following some dipshit online, thinking they're going the right path. But the problem is with that, they don't know until it's too late. They don't know until they've lost all their money. They don't know until they got in a bad partnership. They don't know if they got until they did something they shouldn't have done. So get in a real environment like the DM community here, and let's start the process. So with that said, let's get started here. Just getting back, we headed over to Naples for the night. Actually, recently, my wife's cousin passed away. Unfortunately, it's part of life. It's part of the game. He had brain cancer. And, I don't know about you, but if I have something like that, he's been kind of laid up for a minute. It's like I want to just go as fast as possible and peacefully as possible, less pain on myself and the family. And, if you've had a loss recently, or you think about these losses, I want you to understand that's going to be us one day, you and I. And we will be dying. It's the only way out for all of us. There's no one's escaping that exit. And for some odd reason, we live in a world where these fucking people, most people, think that they're going to live forever. You don't have to listen to me. Just watch their react, the way they act, the way they react, what they talk about, what they think about, what they worry about. These are things that, it's like, dude, literally life still goes on. So he passes away, Dina's cousin, and life goes on. I'm back in the office working. Dina's mother's doing her thing Dina's doing her thing. We're all doing our things. Not to say he's not missed, not to say we're not thinking about him, but life continues with or without us. And we have to be conscious of that, because today's topic, I want you guys to think about this. It's because it's not, if you're an entrepreneur, a real fucking entrepreneur, not some Mickey Mouse wannabe Instagram entrepreneur. I'm talking a real entrepreneur. We're going to talk about a real subject today that I've coached and worked with many, 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 many thousands of entrepreneurs in my life. And it's something we all deal with. But have you ever felt behind in life and in business? Do you constantly feel behind in life and business, right? So, and I'm talking do you feel anxious? Do you feel insecure? Do you doubt things? And I'm not here to scare you guys. What I'm here to do is, I don't know any real entrepreneur that doesn't constantly feel behind the eight ball, that doesn't constantly feel like I can do more, I can be better. I remember, I do events once in a while, and I did a 2-day event at the office. This is 5-6 years ago. And I do this, by the way, at every event. If I'm ever speaking, if I'm ever hosting or whatever, but I take a real self-assessment of my experience, my event. As soon as I'm done, literally nanoseconds after I'm done, in my brain, I'm like, shit, should have said that. Shit, I could have done this better. Shit, I got to stop cussing so much. I got to say, I'm starting to analyze it, and I'm going to sit down. If I do an event, I sit down with my team and we create a report. What could we have done better? Right. And a lot of this shit is nitpicky stuff, but it's stuff that drives me nuts, because I constantly want it to be better, not just for me, but for the users, the folks that are there, the folks that are investing their time. Now, I don't care about the money. The money's just part of the transaction. Money we can come and get back and forth, but time, I don't want to waste anybody's time. Even on this show, you're not paying anything to be here. You're investing your time. Your time is worth way more than your money will ever be, right? So, because once you hear this, it's gone. Money, you send me $100 and I send you 110 back, and we send 130 back. We can make more money, lose more. It is what it is. It's just money. So I do a document and I sit down and say, hey, upon entry, I want these 3 things here. Here's what I want it to look like. And I want them to think, touch, feel, see, smell, right? And I do this with everything I do, experiences. When you walk in, it's almost like I sit here, I grab a cigar, and that's got about an hour and 20 minutes smoke, depending how aggressive I'm smoking. And I'm going to write notes, and I'm going to be like, when they walk in, I want it to see this. I want it to smell this. I want it to look like this. I want the lights to be dimmed. I want this to happen. I want this sound to be on, etc. Right? I want the experience. I want people to see and feel and touch and smell with all their sensories, where they don't even know it's happening, but it's happening. So I'm very hard on myself with these things. I do this with my wife. I do this with my kids. I do this with my friends. I do this with my family. I do this with my business. I do this with my event. I do it with everything. And if you're like me, which you probably are if you're listening to the show still, you always feel like you can do better, meaning you're behind the 8 ball and you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated. Your fucking team calling you all the time like, dude, what's going on? Man, I need help. That's a whole nother story. Maybe we'll get to that later today or another show. But I can promise you this, true entrepreneurs, and I've been a real entrepreneur my entire life, right? Like real, not fake, made up, wannabe. I used to have the car, everything I've wanted was materialistic initially because I was poor, but everything I've been able to achieve that many times over and beyond. And now once you can get it, it's like, whatever, I'm here to make impact in people's lives, impact in my life, impact in people's lives I care about, and impact in people's lives I don't even know yet, i.e. you. Haven't met you probably don't, if I saw you sitting beside me, I wouldn't even know. That's not a bad thing. That's what this game is about. But again, anxiousness, insecure, doubt, but I want you to think about this though out loud in your head. What's the opposite side of this feeling? You could be like the majority of the world and be some fucking dipshit sitting around doing nothing, thinking the world owes you everything, wondering why it's not easier and you ain't even doing anything. And you're sitting there like, dude, you don't understand, man. I work so hard. I put in so much time. Newsflash, real business entrepreneurs don't give two shits about how much time anyone's ever put in. No one cares. We care about results, right? So we're very result focused. They're very I put my time in focused. These are two drastically different objectives. You and I probably, like when we're sitting in class back in the day in school, from whatever, 8 to 3 p.m., we're sitting there counting down the time. I'm like, why the fuck am I in here 7 hours a day when I could knock this shit out in an hour a day? I got shit to do. That's how I felt in school my whole life, by the way. As a child, as a fifth grader, fourth grader, I'm like, why are we in here? What are we doing? Let's get this shit done. Let's go play. Let's go hang out. Let's go be creative. Let's go create something, right? Let's go get to work. I'd rather pick up trash outside of the school than to sit in some fucking dipshit class talking about nothing, right? Listening to a teacher that doesn't even want to be there. Not all teachers, but a lot of them, right? And again, this is just the way I tick. And I don't care if this is you or not, but I would assume most people listening to me, this is you. So the side of this coin is this is why masterminds and networks and groups of people that talk like you and I, think like you and I are so important, because you'll realize that you're not some fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, you are normal. In my world, you're very normal. It's frustrating. It's overwhelming. It's exciting. But yet, this is the life we've been handed. This is what are we going to do with it? I'm going to do and make the most of it. I'm going to help more people and accomplish a lot. Maybe you've had these challenges. Maybe this has come about because maybe you had some, I like to use negative energy for growth, right? Maybe your ex told you you're a loser. Maybe your mom and dad said you'll amount to nothing. Maybe your best friend that's not your best friend anymore said you're a fucking dummy. Whatever it is, we have something to prove, i.e. chip on the shoulder. Right? I like the chip on the shoulder. I went and had an x-ray done about 6 weeks ago, and they said, hey, Mark, you have a permanent chip on your shoulder. It's never coming off. And I agree with it. I do have a chip on my shoulder of life. I saw the way my mom and dad were treated as employees, and I will never, ever, 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 ever treat employees like that they were treated. They were treated like mules and dogs, and the more they did, the more they got given to them. And it just was not the place. Like, I remember this very distinctly as a child. I wrote about this in my book called Magician vs. Mule. It drives me every single day. When I start feeling like a little lazy, I use that energy, negative energy, right? Or you got these dipshits online. Everyone talks about, oh yeah, man, there's so many shit talkers online. Well, most of the time, people ask me about shit talkers. They're not talking shit. They're talking facts. You're just too dumb to see that they're talking about facts. You think they're talking about their shit talking. No, dude, they're calling you out on your own BS, right? So it's like, you got to have self-reflection. You got to understand, like, man, maybe they're right. Maybe there's some validation to this. Maybe there's something here. And then you're going to use that as fuel and say, fucking whatever their handle is, Roman Giant 123, whatever at Gmail or Yahoo or Instagram. Maybe they have something here. And you're going to reflect and you're going to like, okay, I'm going to fix that. Again, constantly improving. But don't use it as a victim mindset. Use it as improvement. And as we're on this journey, I love negativity. I love death as drivers. They drive me. I know I'm going to die. I've had lots of negative shit happen to me, and I'm going to use it as fuel, right? These are great tools to tap into. This is something you should be thinking about all day. I'm not sitting around thinking about negative shit, but when I'm sitting here getting up at 4 a.m. and I don't want to work, I'm sitting here thinking about everyone's going to take this from me. Someone's coming after me. Someone's on my foot, my heels. The game's getting changing, like whatever. Like, dude, it motivates me. I'm going to prove Matt wrong. I'm going to prove Steve wrong. I'm going to prove, Because again, I'm not going anywhere except up. I'm going to keep pushing this game forward to levels I don't even know is possible. I'm going to fucking drive and push, hire great mentors to show me the light, to show me another level and all this shit, right? So when you feel behind in life and behind in business, I have a thing I call thought auditing. I want you to get this shit on paper, because if it's not on paper, it's stuck in your head and it's just rolling around in circles. So on your thought audit for your business, let's talk about business first. Why do you feel behind the 8 ball? A lot of times the reason most people genuinely feel behind the 8 ball is because they're paying attention to too many people with where they're at or what they think they're at because they're on social media. You're getting overwhelmed. You're doing comparison syndrome, right? You're comparing. You're like, well, Mark's got 17 cars. Why do I only have 2? Well, dude, I'm not playing the car game. You're playing the car game. So you might get overwhelmed with that, thinking you're behind the 8 ball. I'm not even playing the game you're playing. Not judging it, just that's what happens, right? Well, I want this. I want that. Steve has that. He's only 27. I'm 32. Blah, 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 blah. No one gives a shit. The funny thing about this is, and genuinely, I think I have a massive advantage compared to younger people listening to my voice, is Lifestyles and the Rich and Famous was my social media. I only met one guy that had a Ferrari 308 when I was a child. He owned a huge pizza shop up in Columbus, Ohio. Talked to him. He was an awesome guy. It made sense in my head that one day I could be this guy, because I always thought, the way I was trained, people that have nice cars do bad shit, and they're bad people, and they're not nice, and they steal and they take, and they're not givers. Well, this guy was everything of that. He was a great giver, a great guy that helped people, employed lots of people, did great stuff to the community. He was just a good dude. I met him. I talked to him as a child, and I made up in my mind that I don't give a fuck what anybody says about wealthy people driving nice cars. I'm going to be the nice guy, the wealthy guy, the giver, and all these things. I might have been 12 years old. So I made a decision that day that all the bullshit around me was all lies. That was coming from their point of view, that they've given up on their dreams, their goals, and maybe they had one bad experience with someone that they thought had money, and now all of a sudden they just pile it on everybody else. But I want you to get your thought audits out. I want you to thought audit on business. Picture a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On the left-hand side, say biz. On the right-hand side, say life. What do you feel behind on? Do you feel behind on your finances? Do you feel behind on your KPIs? Do you feel behind on your business growth? Do you feel behind on your exit plan? Do you feel like there's so many things people could feel behind on, right? It's endless for people like us because we are pursuers. We pursue to be better every day. And then on the personal life, right? I have something going on actually tomorrow night. I have a dinner meeting. I haven't had a fucking dinner meeting in I don't even know how many years. I have a guy in town I've been wanting to meet. I really prefer to eat with my family at home. I don't really leave the house a whole lot. I want to hang out with my family. I want to be a part of their lives. I want to hang out and have these dinners with my kids, because when they turn 16, 17, 18, 19, like these I'll never have this kind of chance where I actually control their time when they have to sit down and eat dinner with us and talk. Hey, Mark, what's your 5 things you love about your life today? Hey, Dina, what's going on? Like family stuff. That's when I feel behind the 8 ball. I actually already feel anxious leaving my family. And this may sound silly to you depending on what you do every day, but I love being around my family. I love it. It's enjoyable to me. It's what I've worked so hard to accomplish, to be able to have the time to make the rules that I want. I am stepping out of my rules on this one because, again, you don't have to be 100% on this stuff. It's just, this is a really cool experience guy I'm getting ready to hang out with. We're working on some neat things, and I'm excited for what the opportunities is. So what I do, I weigh out the risk reward. What's the risk in going? Well, I risk not having dinner with my kids, obviously. That's not a huge risk, not the end of the world. It's one dinner out of many, I hope. But the opportunity is pretty big. It's the only time he has available, these 2 guys, and we're getting them both in a room. This is something that's been in the works for many, 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 many months too. So we're all being flexible. I prefer to meet in the daytime, but noon. Let's meet at noon, right? And then we get done at 1:30. Boom, I'm back. Kids are out of school. We hang out, go to the pool, go out and hit golf balls and all that. That's the season of life I'm in. So you just listening to me, you might get anxious. You might feel behind the 8 ball and say, fuck, I want to hang out with my kids, blah, blah, blah. Well, dude, I'm not saying you can or can't. I'm just saying it's all timing. It's all seasonal. You got to remember, though, just to be clear, this is one thing social media doesn't understand, or most people watching social media don't understand. I have almost 28 years in business life. You might be 3 years into it. A 3-year game versus 28-year game is drastically different. And I'm not judging. It is what it is. But, you know, what I wish to do in my life is take my 28 years and show you how to condense that and accomplish that life in 5 to 7 years, right? Instead of 28 years. You know, I haven't done everything perfect. I haven't done everything right. I've messed up some big business moves. I've done some really cool things as well. But again, from my experience, guys like you and I and gals, whatever, we don't focus on what we've done good. We focus on what we can do better. It's a way different mindset. So with your family, how can you improve conversations and relationships with your spouse? How can you improve communication with your children? One thing I'd like to tell all of you guys, and this is the truth, and again, this is observation and reality. We have a massive problem going on in this world. Lazy fucking parents. Ignorant, lazy parents. And what I mean by that, and I hope you guys aren't this, but if you are, you have to course correct this ASAP. Your children are zombies and it's your fault. I literally walk into a restaurant, I see people literally, boom, slam a phone down, turn on a goofy ass cartoon. That's not even a cartoon, it's a YouTube station that you have no control what they're saying. And then they just feed them like a zombie. While mom and dad's chit chatting, the kids are like, dude, it's fucking dinner time. Deal with it. If they cry, don't go to dinner. Stay at home and eat, right? Teach them social skills. Teach them why we're here. You understand, you're sitting there with your child to have an amazing dinner. I don't care if it's fucking grilled cheese, mac and cheese, chicken tenders, or steak. It doesn't matter. This is 20, 30 minutes or an hour of your life where you can sit down and actually reset, recalibrate, connect, conversate, and quality time that literally once that you understand that you're allowing your fucking kids to do this. This is going on everywhere, by the way. It has to stop. It has to stop. What kid in their right mind wouldn't want that? they're, guys, it's a drug to them. You're giving them drugs. Like literally, I feel like it's child abuse. Adults have the problem, let alone a child that doesn't like understand the difference. Let's be honest, you're better than that. And if this is you, I'm talking directly to you. Stop being a dipshit. Stop being a fucking lazy parent and step it up. And if your spouse is allowing it, fucking address it with them ASAP and step it up. Because I see some people that one spouse doesn't want it and the other, and then the weak spouse always allows it. Well, dude, step it up. This is your child's life. Your job is to protect these little shits. That's your job. It's a gift to have these kids. Treat it as so. And I see too many of you out here willy-nilly. Actually, this just happened. My son and daughter here at the club went to a Friday movie night. It's a Friday movie night. There's 15, 20 kids in the room. At least 3/4 of them have a cell phone or an iPad or a gaming console in their hand at a fucking movie night. It's disgusting. So disgusting. I'm going to make a huge fucking scene about it today. Guys, we must stand our ground. You must understand our job is to protect our children. Listen, I don't know what's on these gaming consoles. I don't know what these kids are watching on YouTube. I know if I was 7, 8, 10, 12 years old, I would be watching stuff that probably my parents wouldn't want me watching, especially when I'm in an environment that I want to try to be cool in. Hey, Susie, Johnny, hey, check out these. Oh my God. Again, once they see it, they can't unsee it. Our job, our duty is to protect. This is stuff that I see a lot of you behind on. This stuff, by the way, to me, is way more important than any fucking business talk we could ever talk about. Because these are things, if you do it right with your family, you're going to carry this shit over into your business. I have a situation going on in one of my businesses right now. This guy literally fucking hangs out and talks to everyone like he's in a fucking salon. Yo, dude, this ain't salon time. This is work and get shit done time. Don't talk to other people. Get to work and talk to the people you need to be talking to. I don't give a fuck what you did over the weekend. Talk about that at lunch. But this guy likes to walk around the office, talking to people, chit-chatting. He's a chatty Cathy. Well, listen, people are messaging. I don't go to the office, but people are messaging me now like, yo, dude, this guy's a nice guy, but he's fucking annoying me. I got shit to do. He clearly doesn't, even though he does. So these are things that carry over. You got to have uncomfortable conversations as a real entrepreneur. My job isn't about, it's business. Yo, dude, Just a heads up. This is fucking go time. When you're in this office, do you think Tom Brady steps on the football field wondering what he's going to have for fucking dinner tonight? Who he's going to hang out with tomorrow? No. He's there to play and win the fucking game. Period. Every day you walk into your office, every day you get in there, it's go time. Work your ass off. See, again, this is the difference with true entrepreneurship versus wannabe entrepreneurship. Wannabes like to talk about what they're going to do. True entrepreneurships get in there and get the job done. I don't care if it takes a minute or 1,000 minutes. Did the job get done, yes or no? Because what you're going to do as you journey through this game, you're going to become more efficient, more effective, right? That's your job. And the higher you get up this totem pole, you're getting paid on value, not time. Keep in mind, I got 28 years of time, so my value is time necessarily, but also experience of implementing. A lot of people don't pay me for what I know about growing a business. They pay me for how to protect the growth of their business. It's a way different animal. I know how to do both. Not all verticals either. But I'm good in certain areas, right? But there's great people in all these environments. You could hire consultants for all types of stuff, from marketing to sales channels. I mean, it's endless. We could go on and on about this, but I want you to understand this. You must thought audit these things on a consistent basis. Piece of paper, line down the middle, biz on the left, life on the right. Where am I feeling behind on? And then that's the start. The second side of this is, okay, now that I feel behind on it, what's action plan am I going to do? And if you're like me, you try to do them all at the same time. That's not how it really works in real life. Pick one or two and let's address it. And let's start doing baby steps. What I like to do is I call them daily deposits. And then what this does, it's going to start building your confidence in the action, right? Your kids, you don't have to cut them cold turkey with these gaming consoles at dinner. You got to start opening up a conversation. Hey, son. And by the way, this is what I do. Hey, son. Hey, Dree. My daughter's Drea. My son's Mark. Mommy and daddy's job is to protect your brain, to protect you, right? Yeah. Good. When during that course of protection, there's some things you're not going to like mom and dad doing. You're going to get mad. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get angry. But guess what? I don't care. I hear you. I'll acknowledge it. But my job is to protect you, right? Yep. Good. Start planting the seeds. Because when that conversation gets brought up, you got to let them know that their precious little brain is precious. And our job is to let them know is like, there's a time and the place for consoles. There's a time and place for gaming or whatever the shit is. And it sure in the hell is not at dinner table. It sure in hell is not at lunchtime. It sure in hell is not at breakfast. Like, you are not a zombie in this game. Not on my dime, not on my time, ever. And well, Johnny does it. I don't give a fuck about Johnny. His mom and dad are wrong. His mom and dad are hurting Johnny. And when you hang out with Johnny, let Johnny know we're not allowed to do that. This is the shit you need to be teaching your children. I don't care at what age. They need to understand mom and dad's doing this to protect them and help them, not hurt them. Because when you start swiping that thing away, depending how crazy you've been with it, you're going to get a lot of pushback. So address it accordingly. If they're getting, some of you guys, honestly, it's sad. They're getting unlimited screen time or whatever. It's disgusting. Step the fuck up. You got to let your kids know it's limited. Here's what you get. No more, no less. Now, listen, if you want to be the parent that allows them to earn time, that's cool too. If you want to, like, you guys, overall, it's just a lot of people aren't paying attention to this, and I don't know why. Don't have to believe me. Go out to any dinner. Go out anywhere. Watch people. They have their face in the phone 24/7. I was on a flight back from Dubai, and literally a grown-ass man beside me for 16 hours. 16 hours. All he did is scroll up and down, like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. That's all he did for 16 hours. Do you know how much productive you could be? What are you looking at? What are you doing? What is on that phone that is more important than that moment in your life that you could become a better human being? And I was watching. He wasn't looking at anything that's worth anything. But you guys are so oblivious. Most people are just so oblivious to what they're doing. They're feeding their mind full of bullshit. Listen, the medication companies love you because you're going to be on all kinds of meds in no time flat. Anxiety, frustration, right? ADHD. I mean, it's unlimited. And now they get you all juiced up on this shit. Now they own you, control you, and you're allowing it. So if you feel behind in life and business, what I'm really saying is that's a good thing, especially if you're aware, especially if you're in an environment with people like me and such where we know this is part of the game we live. This is our life, right? Yesterday, I was in Naples, and we were at the pool hanging out. And I have some big projects going on. Actually, this week, some real big stuff happening. I started getting a little overwhelmed. And I had to make a decision. Hey, babe, you got the kids because they're playing at the kiddie slide. You got the kids. I got to go up to the room for an hour. I got to do a couple things. Of course, it's called communication. It's Sunday. I feel behind. I'm getting overwhelmed. And listen, it's a gift that we feel this way. Treat it as so. It is a gift. I don't always want it. But when it comes up, there's a reason. Our job as entrepreneurs and business owners, listen, I have so many people that rely on me to be present, that rely on me to do the work, that rely on me to do my best. And you do too. You do too. If you're a one-man show, it's coming. You're building up the muscles for the future self. Eventually, you're going to have many employees, many staff members, many 1099s, many families that rely on you for your actions. The truth is I could have sit at the pool and no one would really, probably more likely not even know the difference. But I would. I wouldn't feel good about myself the rest of the day. So what I did, I got up to the room. I made one call and did 3 things on the line. And I felt 1,000 times lighter. And then we went over to my mother-in-law's. We had Sunday dinner with the fam, hung out, jumped in the car, drove an hour and a half home. And I felt good about that. But if I'd avoided that 1 hour, I'd have been way behind. I'd have been overwhelmed for the rest of the day. See, the thing is, you don't feel behind and overwhelmed the entire day. Typically, it's these moments. And that's what I went in. I said, hey, D, I have to make a 1 hour deposit. That's what I was telling myself anyways. I have to go make a 1 hour deposit into this business, into my business, into my life, into my, whatever. And I got to get upstairs. I got to work. Why they're playing, why they're hanging out, why they're enjoying the sun. None of that stuff matters to me. I can go get the sun later. Because again, I'm at that point, I'm starting to become not present in the situation. Dina was cool with it. The kids called me an hour late. Dad, you coming down to have lunch with us? Well, we're actually going to go to Nani's, blah, blah, blah. And then they come up and boom, we're good. Communication is key. Clear communication with yourself first and foremost, and then communication with your spouse, etc. All this shit comes down to communication, right? But feeling behind, using these tools, going out and implementing it. When do you feel the most behind? In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening? A lot of you guys aren't doing the work in the evening, after hours, right? I was talking with my son last night about this because I told him, I'm like, Mark, I need you to step it up. I need you to start reading more books. Dad, I don't like reading. I don't like reading either, but I love the outcome. Mark, do you want more out of life? Mark, do you want to be smarter? Mark, do you want to have a better life? Yes, cool. Do hard stuff, have easy life. Do easy stuff, have hard life. Real simple, bud. What do you want to do? I want to do hard stuff and have an easy life, Dad. Right? This is stuff that I have to say 7,000 times, by the way. Doesn't hit out of the gate. Repetition, consistency. But I've read thousands of books. I've listened to thousands of hours of podcast shows, thousands of hours of audiobooks, and continue to do so. And you should too. I'm doing that throughout the day if I have time. I'm doing it every morning. I listen to at least an hour of audio of some sort, podcast or book or some topic that I'm trying to learn more about, minimum during my walk run, minimum an hour. And then, what are you doing in the PM? What are you watching? What are you consuming? If you get up early, this morning I was up at 4-ish. What are you consuming? Are you reading? Are you addressing stuff? What are you doing? Like again, we have these moments where we're behind the 8 ball. We feel very anxious. Audit. Why do you feel that way? Ask yourself the next question. What do I need to put in place to not feel so overwhelmed here? Who do I need to put in place not to feel so overwhelmed here? you start looking at this game a lot different. It's not about you. It's about all of us. It's about the full picture, right? When you start getting so focused, so overwhelmed, it's because you're so focused on such a very narrow path. Broaden your horizons, broaden your lenses, get a wider view. Understand what you've done, how far you've come, where you're going. You should feel overwhelmed because you have big dreams, big goals like me. I get it. Could you imagine, like I said, if you don't have goals, don't have dreams, don't have all, like you're hanging out thinking the world's going to take care of you, you're fucked. You're screwed, straight up. That's not you. That's why you're still here. So I want you to know, be making daily deposits, thought audit daily. You don't have to get super crazy. This is like 5 minutes max, right? Write your thoughts down. They're swirling in your head all the time. Until you get pen to paper, on paper. I would prefer paper, not notes on your phone, because again, you're back in your phone, you get sidetracked, you're not focused, you don't revisit. Grab a piece of paper. I got a piece of paper. As I'm talking to you, you can hear it. With my notes on it, with my thought audits on it. I recommend you do the same thing. I use a paper, I use a blue pen, and I write a lot of words on these pieces of paper. 99% of it probably would never mean anything, but the 1% that does, makes the big impact. Get your thoughts down. You're going to sound stupid. You're going to feel stupid. You're going to look stupid to yourself because you know you're better than that. Daily deposits. This is how you gain confidence in your growth. This is how you gain confidence in where you're going. This is how you gain confidence in your actions every single day, inch by inch by inch. And you do this over the years. Everyone talks about compounding money. Cool. Compounding these activities, these actions, you will literally be a different person 12 months from now if you do what we're talking, 100%. You won't even know who you are today, 12 months from now. You'll be like, holy shit, I used to think like that. I used to talk like that. I used to act like that. I let my kids do that. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way that was me. Yes, it was. But you've come so far. But by the way, you're going to still feel overwhelmed. You're going to still feel behind. Because that's who we are. Acknowledge it, understand it, and get out there and execute it. I'll talk to you guys later. Remember to keep me posted. If you need anything, I'll see you next Wednesday. So with that said, make today count.
I'm Mark Evans, DM. I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it. To discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. Time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker. But I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker. The journey's where it's at. It's all about the process. It's time to get over to the DM project. From a small town in Ohio, so I know how it is. And I come from a lot of money. I remember as a kid, wanted to make 100 racks. Didn't see no one making more than that. Graduated high school with a 1.8. They should've held me back. I hope my principals and teachers are alive just to witness this. I'm my own boss. I'm out here running 2-8-figure businesses. I can walk away from it all and I'll be good, but I've been called to help people just like y'all learn the game. It's time to ball. Everybody chasing the money, but I'm not chasing the money. I'm out here chasing the purpose. Yo, I've been working my whole life. What got us where we at isn't gonna get us where we wanna go. So it's time to push, time to learn, time to grow. I'm Mark Evans, DM. I'm here to help and teach them what I know and how I did it. To discover freedom. There ain't no question Mark Evans when he step in the door. He's closing deals. It's time to tell him what the DM stand for. I'm a deal maker. But I'm not just a deal maker. I'm a dream maker. The journey's where it's at. It's all about the process. It's time to get over to the DM project. I'm Mark Evans, DM. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. Deal maker. DM project.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.